this.
Yeah,
They say no to
they don't want to
people
have to
learning
deal
the
with
exact same
what's
way.
his name?
So how did Babbel become
What was
the
the,
award-winning
what was the
language
Ball
learning
brothers'
app with over 60
father? Remember him?
million
Oh yeah,
reviews?
LeVar.
For you.
Yeah, they don't want that.
We don't-
Tixie
we're
here.
not
She's
dealing with
an
another one of
artist
those.
and
Yes.
absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is
You got about 30 seconds.
Okay,
a
you got it.
say it to my face type of learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Sur le point.
Keith is sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Ok, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
That's 325 EAS test 2.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Reese's also his name.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, folks, you know what it is. Please do not pretend you don't know. It's Friday.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
And we're going to be taking your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842, so you can get in your grievance today. Because it's a Friday, we always ask ourselves, it's like, news, what are we going to do with it? It's a different day. It's a new dawning, if you will, for America. And every day is a news day today. And it's exhilarating. Because as much as we talked about on this program what the new administration was going to be like, we really didn't talk about what the opposition was going to be because we really didn't care. And I understand that people didn't care. Like, we won, we're winning, that's it. But we can still win and enjoy the show because there is a show. And I thought about this today because I don't want people to get the impression I just come on WTIC to talk to the winners. I want to talk to the other side too. And I really want to talk to the other side today. And I want you to know that regardless of what you say when you send me text messages or you comment on my post on Facebook or social media, I hear it and see it when you write or give your voicemails. Here's what I know. Not just that you're sad, is that you're a little embarrassed. You're grasping at straws. And you are holding on to a media that is struggling itself. You don't even understand that those people that you are parakeeting, mimicking, playing stenographer for, they are no longer the status quo. And I hear you preach the rhetoric that I see on all of these networks. I know you think this, but I'm just going to tell you for me, and I think I can speak for Tom Shattuck here too. If you're listening, I'm sure that I can speak for you when I say this. We watch the same news you do. We watch the same hosts you trust. We watch the same programs you watch. We go on the same social media and hear the nonsense from the same people that you believe in. I know that I can speak for Tom Shattuck when I say that. And plenty of other conservative hosts out there. We love the people that you listen to and learn from and trust. They are the funniest people in the world. They're the most delusional people in the world. We get a kick out of it. We share their post amongst us. We go, hey, you see what this lunatic said? Yes, I did. Oh my God, they're hilarious. But see, the difference between you and I is that you watch those guys for the next talking point. Yeah, I'm going to say this to my conservative friends or enemies, whatever. And then we sit idly by and we go, that's not an original thought. Another thing that we sit by and we watch, which is really, really, really funny, is that you are standing up of all people, I can't seem to understand, the state. You are standing up for government. Now, I want you to understand. I'm going to go back a little bit, and then I'm going to get into the crux of the monologue today. For those of you who know, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Who here remembers the 1960s, the 1970s, the anti-war movement, the make love not war, no nukes? Who remembers that group? Were those people Republicans? Were those people the straight-laced Ivy League folks? No. Who were they? Who were they? They were the left. They were Democrats. They were the cool kids, the hippies. Those people were the anti-establishment. Remember how the straight-laced guys used to look at them and they'd say, look at them with their bell-bottom pants and their butterfly collars talking, make love, not war. Look at them and all their drugs and promiscuity. Look at them listening to the Grateful Dead and Jimi Hendrix. The people are unkempt. That's what the Republican Party used to say about your brood. Remember your power to the people? Stick it to the man. That's you. That used to be you. And with all of that nonsense that they used to tell us in the 60s about the party switching, guess who switched? It turns out that all of those make love, not war, say no to nukes, party it out, man, everybody smoke a doobie. That's you. You were those people. Now you're the state. You ended up being part of the lunatic group that you were fighting against. You're sitting around here fighting for the stuff that you were fighting against in the 1960s and 70s. The state. You turned into the man. How did that happen? I'll tell you how it happened. You got control. You entered the halls of government. You looked around those ivory towers and you said, this feels good. I wonder if I can exact my will on the people. Because deep down, you were all tyrants, totalitarians, communists, Marxists. That's where you got all your teachings from. You got inside the halls of power and you were fighting against or fighting for those things that you wanted the most. And you got them. Oh, Mike Burrell is going to be mad because I got to call him back. But see, folks, liberals, you guys, the ones that the Democrat Party wants control of, let me tell you a little secret. The government can't protect you from millionaires and billionaires. They can't. They can't protect you from them. They tell you that they can. Oh, Chris Murphy says it every day. They can't protect you. The government can't stop diseases. In fact, most of them don't want to. They want you out there promiscuous as ever. No slut shaming. If you don't believe me, name something that the government can provide. Name something that only the government can provide that you can't get on your own. You can protect yourself, get a gun. You can stop disease, live healthier. The government can do nothing for you, but they seem to be very adamant about telling you that they can, influencing you and believing that they are the true people who possess the power of your life. That's never been what government's been about, remember? Even back then. The government didn't want a hold of anything in your life. They told us to leave everybody alone, remember that? They told us to not bother our bodies, to get government out of our bedrooms. Now, all of a sudden, it's cool for the government to be inside your bedrooms. Make sure you get them contraception. Make sure you help them abort their children. Make sure you get them the vaccine. You know what's really interesting about this USAID thing? You know, the government used to be big on redistribution of wealth. Do you remember that? That was their thing. Redistribution of wealth. And it wasn't just redistribution of the wealthy's wealth. It was the tax dollars in general. Tax the rich. Remember AOC at the Met Gala wearing a white dress with red letters talking about tax the rich? Remember the rich need to pay their fair share? And what was the reason for all of that taxing? Was because these people, the Democrats, were caring about you. Because they were going to make your life easier. They were going to take care of you from the cradle to the grave, as long as those rich people paid their fair share. Because they were in control. And then all of a sudden, Doge walks into the room. And when Doge gets there, they start finding out that those tax dollars that they were planning on redistributing to you, they were sending across the globe to fund transgender surgeries and transgender ideologies and DEI in Burma and atheism in Nepal. Billions of dollars going all across the globe. The party of redistribution of wealth is taking billions of dollars and putting it in the hands of people not like you. There isn't a person on the street receiving USAID money. Nobody. No homeless. No veterans. Oh, and did they get money into people who came across the country illegally? Yes, they did. And who is outside promoting to protect that money? The Democrat Party. They want you to continue to redistribute wealth. They want to continue to condemn billionaires so that they can do what? So they can keep that money flowing out of the country instead of into your hands. But yet you are standing out there online, screaming and hollering at the rest of us, saying, keep USAID open. But I haven't heard one of you say, hey, why isn't all of this money going to homeless people? Why isn't any of this money going to North Carolina? Why isn't this money going to California for the fires? By the way, why isn't Maxine Waters saying that? She's from California. Why isn't any one of these Congress people screaming and hollering about this money going to the United States? to their cities? Why are they standing outside screaming and hollering about U.S. aid after all of the exposure of all of the money that is being wasted there? Why is it one person asking, wait a minute, why aren't you guys screaming and hollering for that money to go to us? Why are you protecting the money that's leaving the country? Not one. Not even the people who support these outbursts. Maybe they're admitting that the government can do nothing for you. Or worse, maybe they're realizing that the government won't do anything for you. And they're just promoting and protecting the status quo. Maybe there has been a shift. Maybe the Democrat Party has become the party of government, has become the party of the nanny state. Or better yet, maybe they always were. I just want to know, how do you sleep at night on the left? I can't wake up in the morning with this. I wouldn't be able to. I want you to listen to this, folks, before we go to a break. This is an exchange from Eli Crane, who's a congressman from Arizona. Millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars. They're going to the most ungodly things. Weirdly enough, PETA hasn't even stepped up. Now, I want you to really, really pay attention to what you're about to hear. Last week, I did a stupidest thing I read today, where PETA asked for them to end Puxatawny Phil giving the forecast on Groundhog Day. But yet PETA has said nothing about this.
So you think we're going to find out that it was much more money than that for
Yes.
transgender animal testing?
Yes.
Can you describe what exactly the American people's taxpayer dollars were spent on regarding transgender animal testing?
Yeah. In a lot of these cases, they're involve mice, rats, monkeys who are being surgically mutilated and subjected to hormone therapies to mimic female to male or male to female gender transitions, gender affirming
Hey, remember, you about to do
therapies, and then looking
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
biological, psychological, and physiological effects of the gender transitions, looking at the effects of taking vaccines after you've transitioned these animals from male to female or female to male, looking at the size of their genitals changing after you've put.
So they explained to me why PETA's saying nothing about that. It's because they don't care about anything. Because it's all a lie. None of it is real. None of it is true. They are the state. That's all they care about is the state. They care about government and control of it, and they're losing it. And all of you leftists out there, you're promoting it and protecting it. We got the emergency broadcast now. Stand by, folks.
All right, you all set.
Okay, good. We had to do an emergency broadcast real quick, the EAS. So I apologize for that, but don't worry. It will be back. More news, more views. I got the phone lines lit up, so I know I got a bunch of people who are willing to opine about this, and we will get to them shortly. So stand by. We'll be back at about 3:35. By the way, we've got a new segment on the show. It's called What Have We Learned at 5:35. I'll give you some preview into that as well. You know, there's no more 5 o'clock focus, but we'll do a whole bunch of stuff in a bit. So stick around. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hey basketball fans, it's Liam McNeely, your new freshman recruit. On the court, I know the importance of teamwork. It's not just about one player, it's about the whole team working together to achieve victory. That's why I trust the law firm of Brown, Pandeiros, and Scott. With them, you're not just getting one lawyer, you're getting a law firm with a team of experienced professionals dedicated to your success. They collaborate, strategize, and fight for you every step of the way. Choose the firm that knows the value of teamwork. Visit bpslawyers.com. They're here to win for you.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Get ready for non-stop excitement at Foxwoods Resort Casino. This weekend, don't miss these incredible events. Tonight, Eddie Griffin brings bold comedy and big laughs. Tomorrow, Bob Marley, as seen on Leno, Fallon, and Comedy Central takes the stage. Plus, Foxwoods Lunar New Year celebration kicks off. Saturday, Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, connects with audiences. And Sunday, catch the big game at DraftKings with a Super Bowl tailgate, buffet, drinks, and the ultimate game day experience. And there's even more coming up. February 15th, Foxwoods turns 33 with live performances and big announcements. Plus, Johnny Mathis serenades the crowd, and Jodeci and En Vogue bring an unforgettable night of R&B. February 16th, Royal Rosé Tasting returns with fine wines, spirits, and live entertainment, followed by the Royal Rosé Drag Show featuring RuPaul's Drag Race star Robin Fierce. For tickets and more info, visit foxwoods.com. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. An arrest has been made in a fatal hit and run in New Britain last year. Under arrest is 18-year-old Charlie Rodriguez. Police say he struck two people on December 9th on Broad Street, faces charges of evading responsibility resulting in death and other offenses. Middle school employee in Norwalk facing charges. He pushed a student last year during some type of incident. Police received the complaint on December 5th. That incident involving the employee of Nathan Hale Middle School, Michael Morris. Police did not elaborate on the incident. They say Morris turned himself in to face charges of risk of injury and disorderly conduct. The man who, along with his brother, was convicted in the fatal shooting of a Connecticut State Police trooper 3 decades ago, has had his attempt to gain parole rejected. Dwayne Johnson, that is, went before the State Parole Board today. Group declined to grant Johnson parole. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison for the ambush shooting of Trooper Russell Bagshaw in 1991, as he and his brother burglarized a sporting goods store in Windham. State Attorney General William Tong and over a dozen attorneys general were in Boston today. They're requesting a judge to block President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship for those whose parents are here illegally. Federal judge has scheduled a hearing in a lawsuit from the U.S. Agency for International Development employees seeking to temporarily block that agency's shutdown. Hearing scheduled for this afternoon. The winter virus season in full force. They say it's been the most intense it's been around here in 15 years. So far, 13,000 flu deaths, including at least 57 children. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's Jason Catarino with the forecast.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be windy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 38 going to feel a lot colder with a strong cold west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour. We'll get some breaks in the clouds tonight, the low down to 20. Then Saturday, increasing clouds again, the high 35. Saturday night, deteriorating travel conditions with 6 to 10 inches of snow, the low down to 26 on Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, looks like an earlier issue in Hartford 84 East between 49 and 50 is cleared. But they're still working an earlier problem down in Wallingford, 91 northbound side, backups between 12 right up to the scene at 14. And a tractor trailer and a couple of vehicles involved in a crash there with the right lane closed. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure to pre-configured Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights to run more accurate forecast models. So it's almost like they're controlling the weather themselves. Lenovo and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we're so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the DebtBlue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there's absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-211-5209. That's 800-211-5209. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now, 800-211-5209. 800-211-5209.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Tune in to How to Retire with
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
So you've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts, and finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money. Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Oh, the airing of grievances. I love it. I love it. I love it. And why is this thing always doing this to me? It's like if I leave it for 2 seconds, it times out on me. It's annoying. It's really driving me through the roof. Anyway, Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I got thrown off by that little EAS thing. But you get the gist of what I'm talking about. Well, let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. White Mike is in Florida. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, man. So this USAID thing is so huge and so far-reaching. I don't think the average person is paying attention to exactly what's happening. And the media, the mainstream media, is not going to cover it because they're implicated.
Indeed.
So it's time for President Trump to hold an Eisenhower-esque military-industrial complex type press conference or speech and address the nation and just read off the list of ridiculous globalist brainwashing this was funding.
Good point. You're absolutely right.
Do you know that they were spending money to touch almost every aspect of the entertainment and media complex in this country and in the world?
And I know you're talking far more than the Angelina Jolie, Sean Penn, what was it, Ben Stiller millions. I think between the three of them, we're looking at like the tune of like $20 million between those three to just meet with Zelensky.
Buddy, they were funding the BBC.
Yep.
Funding Politico.
Mm-hmm.
They were funding video game studios.
Yep.
They were funding programming on Disney.
Yeah.
All from the taxpayers and all pushing the same agenda.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to realize that everything we're seeing that is our grand social change is not organic. This is classic propaganda, the same way totalitarian regimes have used the media to push propaganda since man first scribbled on a cave.
Do you remember, Mike, there was a congresswoman, and I know it was a black woman, but it happened during the Obama administration. It got very little attention, but she was on, it was during an oversight hearing where she was saying, and I got to find this. Somebody might remember, if you can find this, put it in a chat room, where the woman was on the dais during an oversight hearing celebrating the mission of Chairman Mao and how he controlled the masses. Do you remember anything like that?
No, I have to say, but I trust you.
But the thing that was baffling about that, and I remember Rush talking about it, was he was sort of implicating all of the Democrat Party, where in essence, this woman was just expressing Democrats' real dream, and that is to have that cultural revolution where they controlled every facet of communication and life and culture, all of it. They just wanted to sort of inject that into everyone, and anyone who rejected it was subject to ridicule, if not death.
Well, yeah, I mean that's where we were with these people. The big marker is the transgenderism, because there's no way transgenderism increased organically.
Exactly.
At all. This was propaganda. These people were brainwashed. And speaking of media ignoring things, have you heard about the story Andy No has been covering?
Is this the one in New Hampshire?
Yeah, where the trans terror cult,
yes,
one of their members killed a Border Patrol agent and are on the run.
Yeah, we're actually, with myself and Simsbury Joe, because Simsbury Joe and I were kind of on it at the same time, but he brought the attention to the show that they are they're like Zimas, something like that. Is a weird name that they have, where they're a cult-like group which intend to annihilate, or if not eradicate, anyone in opposition to transgender ideology.
And are we also kind of in agreement now that it's looking like the Black Hawk that crashed into the passenger jet was an act of radical lesbian left-wing terrorism?
I've heard that, and I'm not certain that there's any truth to that, other than the fact, and here are the facts as they are, was the fact that the female pilot that many people tried to keep hidden, I think our parents did, our family did not want her name released, but when we did, we found out that she was a Biden staffer who worked inside the White House, and that is lending itself to a lot of that innuendo.
Well, and the fact that she was described in her parents' missive as a loving partner and was photographed at gay pride events and put trans flags on her social media postings before they got scrubbed. and the fact that this helicopter ignored instructions twice and turned off its ADS-B tracker.
That is correct.
Which was not necessary. This is not looking, there's only two possibilities, right? It's incompetence or malevolence.
Yes, one or the other. Yeah, without a doubt. And in fact, it was President Trump who said that the Black Hawk was flying too low, and people started to come after him about that, which I found odd because it was like no matter what he said was something that was going to draw scorn. And if he's going after the military in that way, saying that this helicopter's flying too low, and it's demonstrably low, I think was what the word he used, it's lending itself to a lot of what you're saying. I don't want to go on the record and say that this what it appears like, but you're right. It's obviously looking like something, it's one or the other. It has to be an accident or it has to be on purpose. But it's impossible to believe that a military Black Hawk operation would be this careless over the skies of Reagan National.
Thank you. Yeah, so we could be undergoing the beginnings of the great rainbow terror threat.
Yeah, and listen, it's really starting to look that way. And as I said, it's the Woking Dead is turning into one of those groups. What happens when you kill their DEI programs all across the world? They have no response other than to retaliate violently. They can't do it,
And I do like, in closing, that Black people are now threatening to not shop at Target with the tagline, "If you won't hire us, we won't buy here," as if the only way that Black people get hired at Target is if they get a special advantage for being Black.
I don't even understand that strategy. But then again, when do I ever? When do I ever? Thank you, Mike. Let's go to Ralph, who's in South Carolina. Oh, he's in Florida today. Is he still in Florida?
Absolutely. Reese, you got two things. I just took, my son and I went for like a little tour he took me on a catamaran.
Yeah.
And there was a lot that just sold. This is a very small lot. And there was no house on this lot, just an empty piece of land. $38 million. Just sold. And that judge in New York said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million.
You know what I find amazing? Brett Baer sold his D.C. mansion, which is one house, for $37 million, it was reported. And then the argument was that Mar-a-Lago was only $18 million. I'm like, what? I mean, come on. But Brett Baer's house is worth more than double?
Second thing, too, every senator and every congressman has a chief of staff. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And they're very, very powerful people, aren't they?
Yeah.
How many of them are elected by the people?
None.
Correct. And this is my point. When they do it and they have these people that they appoint, it's okay for them to do it. But when Trump did it and he's trying to actually get, at least in my mind, telling the American people, this is where your money's going. How do you like it? This is where your tax dollars are going.
I got to tell you, Ralph, again, no one's been able to square the circle, as people are saying now. No one seems to square with me why Democrats are upset about the exposing of tax dollars going overseas for DEI and transgender surgeries. Like, no one has been able to explain to me why they're upset. They make it about everything else, but no comment on, like, it would be one thing if they came out and said, this stuff that Elon Musk is revealing, it's all a lie. They haven't said it once. No one has said it once.
You're right. Let me ask you a question. $23 million for tourism in Egypt that they spent. How many people in North Carolina who are still living in tents would like to have $28 or $23 million right now to fix their roads and rebuild their homes?
Yeah, I've got more audio. I've got some audio and some video on that too. I'm going to get to that.
And if you get a chance to see your two favorite senators in the world, Blumenthal and Murphy, when they come to the state,
we've got a report on them. We've got a report on them coming up.
I will guarantee you they will not take questions from people like you, because you know what the problem is? You're too damn intelligent. And when you do that and you hit them with smart questions, they have nothing but dumb answers or no answer.
We actually have an update on that. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Thank you, sir. I'll go to Doc. Doc is in Harrington. How we doing, Doc?
Good. A couple things. One, the whole thing with the Blackhawk. Let's wait until all the data's found out, because I think we're going to find that there's multiple blames to go around. Maybe on the pilot, may not. Or
you mean on that Blackhawk? Well, I mean, look at it. Can I look at it this way, Doc? And let me ask you your opinion on that. So we know that the American airline flight is coming in for a landing. So even not being a pilot, not being an aviator in any regard, or ever working for the FAA in that capacity, if I'm looking at this as sort of like a layman, right, just an average person, the act of landing a plane versus a Black Hawk helicopter crossing over the pathway of said landing. If I'm looking at this as a regular accident at an intersection, I can damn well bet that the airliner, the American airliner, had the green light. Yes?
Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the twist, though. Okay. The air traffic controller had the pilot change runway.
Yes. Last minute.
Okay. The same airliner, which requires a different radio to communicate with the helicopter, apparently he lost sight of the altitude of the helicopter.
Yes.
So there's pilot error, because the pilot should have been looking out better. I'll grant you that.
When you say the pilot, you're talking about the Black Hawk pilot.
Black Hawk pilot.
Yeah.
The poor airliner. It's like a turkey ran in front of him.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. I think, look, I'm looking at this from all aspects, and I'm saying to myself, even though that report came out and said that they wanted the American Airlines pilot to change runways, according to the information that we definitely have now, is that the Black Hawk helicopter was definitely too low. And
too high.
Yeah, was it too high?
It was at 300.
Oh, I apologize. You're right. My mistake. Thank you for correcting me. You're right. It was too high. Right. It was too high. So with that, it immediately says to me, if there's going to be a culpability, it's got to be on the Black Hawk.
Well, partially, because the air traffic controller is supposed to keep track of where all the things are at the same time. So there was two people at fault there: the pilot,
right,
Black Hawk, and the air traffic controller. And I don't want to put it on that person solely, because it was one person doing two jobs.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Understaffed. 31 people were supposed to be in the tower when they only had 19, which, again, that's something I'm still trying to understand. Thank you, Doc. Let me go to a break, buddy.
One quick one.
Go ahead. Go for it.
U.S. aid, not USAID, U.S. aid.
Oh, I love calling it USAID just because I don't want anybody thinking anything else.
It's me.
I got you. No problem, sir. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll take more of your phone calls when we return, and we got a lot of stuff to get into, so stand by. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app.
Yeah, Tara, we're getting into that in the next hour. There is an update on that story.
Stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter.
I'll try to turn that up, Kevin. Thank you.
Once again, That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
At California Psychics, we know looking for love. Valentine's Day sucks. Every restaurant is fully booked, even the average ones. Suddenly all chocolates are heart-shaped. And all the PDA. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes $.
Got it.
So you could be flaunting your love life in public real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Back to the phones we go, 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Dave in Windsor Locks. How we doing, Dave?
Reese, how you doing, man? This guy stole my thunder a little before, but I have a few things to talk about. I was listening to a show where there was an actual military helicopter pilot.
Okay.
That was on. There's two bases within 7 or 8 miles between the airports.
Okay.
And he traveled the Potomac River all the time, and as he said, their cap was 200 feet. They couldn't go above 200 feet.
Okay.
The same travel lane, 200 feet is where they had to go. So he said there was a major mistake there that happened.
He said that, now, I'm sorry, he said what kind of mistake had happened?
200 feet. In fact, the helicopter that was at 325 feet was already a huge mistake.
Right.
That never happened.
So is he saying that it had to been done on purpose, or there was something that they didn't, like, was there?
It wasn't. He was just speculating that he's flown that pattern many, many times between the two bases. And he said it was strict instructions. Well, I think they call it, there was a name for the lower deck or something.
Yeah, but it's a routine, what do you call it? A routine procedure
yes,
that they do.
They have to stay below 200 feet.
Right. So that
and obviously 325 is a major mistake.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, it's an incredible mistake. So I think that's what's lending itself to a lot of the conspiracy or speculation into something more nefarious. And I think that, again, it's reasonable to ask because there's just, I'll put it to you this way. If there's nothing to hide, then hide nothing. But there was just too much.
Put it all on the table and let us figure it out.
Exactly. And be completely transparent in a situation like this. Because, again, we're talking about lives, right? This happened at an airport, not some training mission with the military.
Exactly.
This was something that involved human life, our human life. As one of us flies into Reagan, we're going to be asking ourselves, what else is going to happen
trying
here?
to make a living. Just people trying to make a living.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a good point. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the call. I got to go to a break soon, but I totally appreciate the analysis coming from people, and it's warranted in a lot of ways. When we come back, folks, Two things I want to make clear. So at about 5:30, we're going to do What Have We Learned? And that's an opportunity for you to join us at reesontherradio.com. That's reesontherradio.com. And you can go into the chat room and you can tell us what you've learned. And you can always meet us at Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, any one of those places, and tell us what you've learned on the show today or what you learned in general today. And we will read those comments in the chat room. Or if you want to join us online to tell us what we've learned, you can give us a call as well near the end of the show. Don't forget, we've also got the last but not least caller of the day. I'll try saying that 3 times fast. You can win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds. Now, let's get our first check of the traffic with our good friend Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. We feeling any better, Mark?
Yeah, we're getting there, Reese.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you are traveling on the southbound side of I-91, a little slow traffic 33 down to 32A and B. Slowing again down by exit 28. If you are traveling on the northbound side of 91, look out for an accident now between exit 13 and 14 up in Wallingford. It's a tractor trailer and a couple of vehicles on the right lane shut down. The laser back to exit 12 behind that. Now, once you get around that, you've got a good ride from Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Boakley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound delays kick in just after 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Boakley Bridge. 291 through 84 looking good east of the river. 2 westbound's a little tight from exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury a little tight, 22 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound you'll slow a little bit as you approach the 691 interchange. We have a crash in New Haven, in Meriden right now, and that is northbound on the Wilbur-Cross Parkway between 67 and 68 N and E. The right lane shut down there. Looks like delays are back to exit 66 behind that in Wallingford. Southbound Parkway a little sluggish from 60 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 southbound, you've got delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be windy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 38 is going to feel a whole lot colder with a strong west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour. Some breaks in the clouds tonight, the low down to 20. Then on a Saturday, increasing clouds again, the high 35. 6 to 10 inches of snow Saturday night will lead to rapidly deteriorating road conditions, the low of 26 on Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump has just wrapped up a meeting and a joint news conference with his Japanese counterpart at the White House.
During a joint news conference with Japan's Prime Minister, President Trump said he has not ruled out tariffs on Japanese goods.
Probably reciprocal tariffs where a country pays so much or charges us so much, and we do the same. So very reciprocal.
Trump announced Japan's Nippon Steel will drop its bid to buy U.S. steel and will invest in it instead.
I didn't want it purchased, but investment I love.
CBS's Nancy Cordes says that raises a lot of questions.
An investment by Nippon Steel in U.S. Steel instead. What exactly that means, how that would differ from the ownership offer that has already been discussed for years remains to be seen.
Trump has asked Elon Musk to review the Defense Department spending.
He directs Elon Musk on where to go and where to find cuts, and Elon follows through very quickly.
The Pentagon is sending another 1,500 active duty troops to the Mexican border.
That's correspondent Michael Wallace. Dennis D.J. Hernandez has been sentenced to time served after taking a plea bargain last December for making threatening statements on several separate occasions on Facebook. The brother of former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez pled guilty to making interstate threats on July 6th and 7th of 2023. DJ Hernandez stated on Facebook Messenger he planned to carry out a shooting at UConn. 2 weeks later, he threatened to harm or kill 3 people out of state, including a judge. As part of the agreement, DJ Hernandez is to continue mental health and substance abuse treatment. Aaron Hernandez took his own life in prison 8 years ago. At the time, he was serving time for the killing of semi-pro football player Odin Lloyd. Parole denied for one of two brothers serving life sentences in the killing of a Connecticut State Police trooper, Russell Bagshaw. Here's WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
A virtual parole hearing today saw Dwayne Johnson denied early release while he continues to serve a 60-year sentence at Osborne Correctional Institution on a felony murder charge, a law that changed in 2023 allowing those convicted of serious crimes committed under the age of 21 to request a hearing after having served more than half of their sentence. Trooper Bagshaw's widow, Carol, opposed the idea of an early release for him and began urging the public to submit letters against it. State Senate Republicans also urged the public to do the same. Trooper Bagshaw was fatally shot when he interrupted Johnson and his brother during an overnight robbery at a sporting goods store in Windham on June 5, 1991. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080.
State Attorney General William Tong was in Boston federal court today, one of 18 attorneys general, arguing against President Trump's executive order targeting birthright citizenship for those whose parents are here illegally or were here illegally. They say the 14th Amendment defines the right of all babies born in the U.S. to be American citizens.
If you're an originalist, if you're a textualist, if you're Justice Gorsuch, are you hearing me, Justice Gorsuch? If you read the language, okay, it could not be more clear. You're born on American soil, you're an American.
Federal judge in Boston said he'll take under advisement the state's request to block Trump's order. Two other federal courts have already blocked it. Less than stellar jobs report today from the Labor Department.
The government reported a gain of 143,000 jobs last month, missing estimates by about 25,000 and less than half the number of jobs added in December. November and December, however, were revised higher by a combined 100,000 jobs, beefing up a pair of already surprisingly strong gains. The unemployment rate unexpectedly declined 4%, while hourly wage growth rose a stronger than anticipated 4.1%. Parts of the report are Fed-friendly, mainly the big slowdown in hiring in January, but a lower unemployment rate and stronger wage growth will likely encourage the Fed to maintain its pause on interest rates.
That certainly had an effect on Wall Street today. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow lost 444 points. NASDAQ down 268. S&P down 57. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, this is Dale. Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, if that still doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
Who would have thunk after her entire career was destroyed by President Donald Trump that comedian, I guess, Kathy Griffin would be back into the fold? You go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. By the way, go there and send an email if you want to contact me. Most people do. That's where you can get in contact with me after the show. Send a message to reeseontheradio.com. You can air your grievance there. Just send me a note by going to REESE on the radio.com. The stupidest thing I read today is that Kathy Griffin is actually telling people that it's probably not the most prudent thing, but you should not continue to have babies on this planet as a protest to Donald Trump. I don't understand why people have become this deranged. How exactly does not having a baby affect the administration? or anyone for that matter. And I was under the impression that Democrats weren't in the business of telling people what to do with their bodies. I was under that impression. Oh, but I forgot. Unless, of course, it's taking a test or untested drug during COVID. I don't know. These people always make me laugh. But yeah, if you want to read the article, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Send us a message there as well to read the story. It's absolutely insane. We'll get back to your phone calls when we get back from this break, but it's time for another check of your traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, 91 northbound in Wallingford, we have a crash between exit 13 and 14. Right lane's out. It's a tractor trailer and two vehicles. You've got delays back to exit 12 in North Haven behind that. After that, a good ride, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Southbound 91, some slow traffic. 33 Jennings Road down to 32A and B. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 47 Cerny. 84 eastbound slowing 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving by Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound a little tight Harbor Park up toward the Aragoni Bridge. Now we do have a crash northbound right at the end of the parkway in Meriden between 67 and 68 N and E. Right lane is shut down there, and it looks like the delays are approaching 66 in Wallingford behind that issue. Now, if you're traveling southbound on the parkway, look out for an accident reported down in the area between 61 and 60 in Hamden. Southbound 91 slowing from exit 6 in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A winter storm watch in effect February 8th from 7 p.m. until February 9th, 4 p.m. So that is as we head through the weekend. Clouds breaking tonight, the low down to 20 degrees. Increasing clouds as we head through our Saturday. Deteriorating travel conditions at night. The high, of 34 on Saturday. Then 6 to 10 inches of snow with rapidly deteriorating road conditions as we head through Saturday night. The low down to 27. Coating to an inch of snow early in the morning on Sunday, then increasing amounts of sunshine. Storm total of 6 to 10 inches. Dangerous travel in the morning with some improvement as the afternoon wears on. The high 37. Monday, a mix of clouds and sun, the high of 34. And Tuesday, mostly cloudy, the high of 29. Right now, it's 34 in Danbury, 30 in Waterbury, 34 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic on I-84 in Hartford keeps on moving slower, but at Columbia Implant Center, we're only getting faster, providing you with specialist care assisted by cutting-edge technology. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Tom Shattuck here. Big game this Sunday, which means parties, libations, and food. The exact scenario Weekend 180 was built for. Why? Because you eat to lose weight. Yes, you eat to lose weight. Do it once. Enjoy the process. Then receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. For details and important safety information, price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand
All right,
names
Japlante,
when you get
thank you.
started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start an online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, You're going to hear about it.
We're back. News Talk 1080 WTIC, airing of Grievance Friday. Before we get into the weekend, I talked about this, I should say, yesterday. And I'm going to need all of my very shrewd scallywags and nutmeggers out there to get in touch with me to let me know if the rumors are true. Let me talk about what they are. First of all, there's supposed to be a citizens meeting. And if you're watching on ReeseOnRadio.com, you can see the flyer right there. Citizen meeting with Senator Chris Murphy and Senator Richard Blumenthal, because he's in smaller print. Richard Blumenthal. Defending our communities and responding to Trump's illegal power grab. And it's supposed to take place at the Duffy Elementary School in West Hartford tomorrow at noon. Well, of course, plenty of scallywags got out there so they can RSVP to find out what's going on, and they could not. The entire event has been booked up. I guess people are excited to go see Chris Murphy and Dick Blumenthal, but they are excited to get there, so the place is completely packed. And I'm sure it's going to be, filled with acolytes of both of those individuals. So I thought it was interesting, and they are also going to be simulcasting this event on YouTube, on Chris Murphy's YouTube page. But two things I find curious. The first thing is, what is this event about? What are they protecting the community from when it comes to Donald Trump and his power grab? Are they going to talk about the ending of the Department of Education? Well, that's rich coming from these two senators because they don't seem to have responded to the lawsuit placed by a young girl named Alicia Ortiz, who is suing the city of Hartford for not giving her an education, graduating her with honors, and giving her an opportunity to go to UConn, only for it to be thwarted by the fact that she can't read or write. Oh, and the fact that we have never been able to get the records at that school because they have been stonewalling because of the lawsuit and won't tell us exactly how many children in the school cannot read or write. That would be interesting. Or perhaps this meeting is about thwarting the President of the United States, and Tom Homan in particular, on ICE raids that may be coming to the state to get illegals out of the Nutmeg State. Maybe that's a part of it. I don't know. But I've heard recently from a couple of people that the event may have already been canceled. I don't know why that is, but I need somebody to get to, find out. I tried calling Chris Murphy's office, and I did get someone in Hartford who I pretty much gave a message to. I have it recorded, and I will play it on Monday. This is a real message that I left for him. This is different than my little skit with Everybody Hates Chris. This is a real phone call that I had where I told them that they need to get in touch with him because apparently Chris Murphy has been receiving hundreds of calls and is not responding to anyone. He's on television. He talks to MSNBC. He talks to CNN, and he'll even talk to Shannon Bream over at Fox News Sunday, but he won't talk to anybody else. So he has gone zero dark 30 on any opposition to his ideals or just pretty much talking to anyone. So I asked his office to please get someone to at least respond to me. I even went so far as to say, if you could get a plumber to respond to my request for a comment, I'd appreciate it. Mark in West Hartford was actually on the phone with me when I made the phone call, so he knows I'm telling the truth. And plus, I recorded it, so you'll all be able to hear it. But if you know anything about this citizen meeting that is somewhat being canceled, we'd appreciate it. Also, before I get to the phone calls, I also want to mention this. I got word that Chris Murphy is sending out emails. Here's a little bit of that email he sent out recently. Hi, it's Chris Murphy again. I know you've probably heard and seen a lot of me, but it's because I know this is a crisis moment. I fundamentally believe we have weeks, if not days, to the end the constitutional crisis and save democracy. He believes that. Hopefully you have found my updates helpful or my leadership as a small source of hope that we can beat this, that we can stop what Trump and Musk are doing. It's a time for small actions. Oh, no, this isn't a time for small actions or quiet negotiations. We have to throw absolutely everything we have at it. We need to shine a spotlight on what's happening and create massive public opposition. I know that a lot of folks in Washington are taking the weekend off, but I am not. Every waking hour, I'm doing anything within my power to fight back and strategizing on more levels of power that we can pull. Look, I know being the loudest voice in the U.S. Senate right now has a target on me, particularly from Musk and millionaires who thought they would get away with this steal. So I need to be ready whatever gets thrown at me and to make it clear as can be that the American people are with me. If you can, I'm humbly asking that you can make a contribution to support my leadership in this moment. Until then, you go to the link to Chris Murphy, and it says, Chris Murphy, U.S. Senator, stand with Chris Murphy. Pretty much has a bunch of that other nonsense. Chris is at the center of some of the most important fights in Washington. He cannot take on the wealthy corporate interest that want to undo our progress alone. So please make a donation today. The highest amount you can contribute is $500 or whatever you can spare. But it's associated with Act Blue. And I've got to ask the question, Senator Murphy, isn't Act Blue under investigation? I'm almost certain that they are. Let me read. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sent a petition of rulemaking to the Federal Election Commission, the FEC, detailing how suspicious actors appear to be using Act Blue's political fundraising platform to make large number of straw political donations. In December of 2023, Attorney General Paxton opened an investigation into Act Blue to determine whether the platform's operations were compliant with all applicable laws. In August of 2024, Attorney General Paxton announced that due to the investigation, Act Blue began requiring donors using credit cards to provide CVV codes, a common security measure. This is not a full solution to the problems that Attorney General Paxton's team has identified on Act Blue. Namely, it appears that straw donations are systematically being used using false identities through untraceable payment methods. Why would Chris Murphy be fundraising through Act Blue, who is doing a lot of shady fundraising, I ask? But of course, he won't answer any questions. And now he's having a citizens meeting that all of a sudden the RSVP has dried up. I think something shady's going on. And not only that, I think it's even worse that he's fundraising now. I understand that Chris Murphy has $5 million in his coffers, the last I checked, and now raising more money, perhaps because the slush fund is at risk right now? I don't know. You tell me. Let's get back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Juan's in East Hartford. How you doing, sir?
I am doing very well, Reese. And I believe the West Hartford Republicans were more interested in sending letters than perhaps showing up at that event and demonstrating just in a peaceful way, obviously, but
right.
Just putting up some signs up and showing some of our civil rights that we have that don't get exercised very often.
Yeah.
That's the ability to be able to stand up there with a sign and have cameras and pictures and see be able to shout questions at them and watch them run around like little rats. But talking about rats, you ever see? I remember in school watching videos of how they train rats and how they can get a rat hooked on sugar and then take the sugar away, and how that rat becomes desperate and becomes somebody else.
Yeah, you can give a rat anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I see the Democrats like this morning over at the Department of Education.
Yeah,
because it's like, I talked to Tom earlier, and my point to him was, same point I make here at this show. It's like when you have a child that's an addict, and you got to exercise some tough love, and you take the credit card away, and then you take the house away, you take the
Right.
car away. You take you finally just take them and throw them out of the house. And then you resolve the problem that your artwork, your jewelry, your money, your food, everything that you own will not get sold at a pawn shop.
That's right.
And the begging for more and more and more, give me more, I need more. I'm desperate. And all those antics that those addicts do, they're all displayed on national television.
And you know what? The thing is that they don't think, as I've learned so far, one, they don't think the internet or the alternative media is real. They see them as Trump supporters. They think that only the trusted news media is covering the stuff that they're covering. By the way, I don't know if MSNBC or CBS covered the Board of Education thing, but I have video on that, and I have have 4 videos that I think are so they're so teachable in what's going on with the Democrats in front of there, but I'm going to play that later.
I think that it's actually coming. That's another front that's coming, collapsing.
Oh,
on
yeah.
them, because now they're not able to pay off the media companies anymore.
Indeed, exactly.
I think that's one thing that's going to come to a lot of light, because I mean, we were paying BBC. I mean, all that money to NPR and the all that money going to the media is gone to buy their silence, to buy their machine, to feed their narrative right through.
But the only thing that's going to come of that, the only thing that's going to come from that, now that they know that the spigot has been turned off, you're going to see more firing. Remember, the New York Times was hemorrhaging not only subscriptions but advertisers. The money that they were getting from USAID, as well as Politico, some $8 million, $23 million over the last 4 years, that was actually keeping them afloat. Now, if they can't turn a profit, people have to go. People have to go now. It's over. And Politico is one of the most popular sort of publications there is. But now we turned out that nothing that they were doing was real, even their subscribers.
They've streamlined. Look at it this way. I mean, it's just on a business perspective, they've streamlined the entire operations. Their overhead is nothing like they used to be when they used to own a fleet of trucks to deliver. They used to own their own presses, and they had their own people doing the stuff. Now it's all bought out. They buy it. It's all digital.
Yeah, and it's what else are you going to do?
It's really down to their buildings, and the space they rent in certain places. I mean, that's $23 million.
Hey, you know what? I'll put it to you this way. I can't wait until Politico has to operate from home. That's because they can't afford to rent in their building. Yeah.
I think they will, surely.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I really do think, and the media support for this politicians is going to dry up real quick.
Yeah, it will. Why? Let me get to another call. Thank you, boss man. I got Dave in Granby. How are we doing, David?
Hi.
What's going on, sir?
Not too much. This is a overdue call. It's a past subject, but I just want to talk about the height of the helicopter and the airplane.
Sure.
125 feet, like, that ain't that much anyway. That's not that big of a, like, if you were in a airliner flying, are you going to be comfortable flying over a Black Hawk and missing it by 100 feet?
150 feet, 125 feet, no, but I will consider this. I don't think that I would notice 150 feet in an airline, but in a helicopter, I think I'd notice it. It would be like the difference between the inertia in a bike or a motorcycle versus a vehicle, right?
I get it. I just think it's too close of a call, even if the standards are met. Like, that's kind of my point. Like, so if the thing was,
but now what? But I would go this far, David. I would say that it would lend itself to, say, 125 feet, which looks like nothing in the sky. Right. It could be the difference between life and death in this argument, right?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So I think there's a considerable level that again, and I'll just go back to what many people might call a conspiracy theory, because I got a text message or an X message, I should say, from someone who's an avid listener of the show. Let me read it. He says, for the 100th time, Reese, his name is Dr. Way Cooler. He says, for the 100th time, military aircraft turning off their transponders, which shuts off ADSB in any airspace, is not uncommon and is not a factor that contributes to the conspiracy. Now, I'm not arguing that it contributes to it, but I'm not arguing that it doesn't. What I'm saying is that just because it happens all the time doesn't mean that it didn't play a role, right? It may be commonplace, but it can always be based upon a certain time. But thank you, David. I appreciate the call, and it doesn't matter.
You're doing a great job, man. I love your show. I watch all the time. I've been on hold for 20 minutes just to get in there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with our good friend Mark Christopher. They're loving the show, Mark. I'm loving this.
Well, how could they not? I mean, this is, it's very topical.
I know.
People get to express their opinion, so why wouldn't they love it? Hey, if you're coming into Hartford right now, Reese, if you're on the westbound side of I-84, you're going to see a disabled tractor trailer right where the 384 on-ramp comes on at 84 West. It's in the HOV lane. Looks like a tractor trailer's brakes locked up, so they were smoking a little bit there. So that's what's going on there. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Boakby Bridge. It's tied out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue down into the tunnel. 91 southbound, you've got slow traffic 33 to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell into Hartford a little slow as you move between 35 and 36 in Windsor. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound's in good shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound a little slow, Harbor Park up toward the Irrigoone Bridge. Now we do have a crash on northbound 91, and that's in Wallingford between exit 13 and 14. Right lane is out there. Got delays back to exit 12. It's a crash involving a tractor trailer and 2 vehicles. And it looks like an earlier accident northbound on the Parkway up in Meriden at the end of the Parkway between 67 and 68 N&E has been cleared from the right lane, but you're still seeing heavy delays from 66 in Wallingford up to the Miller Avenue in Meriden. If you're heading toward New Haven right now, southbound on the Parkway delays from exit 61 down to the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays 4 toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound you're tied up from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be windy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 38 going to feel a lot colder with a strong cold west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour. We'll get some breaks in the clouds tonight, the low down to 20. Then Saturday, increasing clouds again, a high 35. Saturday night, deteriorating travel conditions with 6 to 10 inches of snow, the low down to 26 on Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Time served for DJ Hernandez, the brother of former Patriot star Aaron Hernandez. Learned his fate today. DJ Hernandez copped a plea last year on charges he made threats on several occasions on Facebook Messenger in 2023. An arrest in a fatal hit and run in New Britain. Charlie Rodriguez, he fled the scene, police say, after he struck 2 people with his car last December. 1 person died, Rodriguez being held on felony evading charges. The man who, along with his brother, was convicted in the fatal shooting of a Connecticut State Police trooper over 3 decades ago, has had his attempt to gain parole rejected. Dwayne Johnson went before the parole board today. Group declined to grant Johnson parole. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison for the ambush shooting of Trooper Russell Bagshaw in 1991 as he and his brother burglarized a sporting goods store in Windham. State Attorney General William Tong and over a dozen of his colleagues were in Boston today. They're requesting a judge block President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship for those whose parents were here illegally at the time of their birth. Forced leaves pulling all but a fraction of staffers of the U.S. Agency for International Development off the job around the world are beginning. The judge is holding a hearing in a lawsuit from federal workers' associations who argue that President Trump lacks the authority to shut down an agency established by Congress. President says he wants to slash the U.S. trade deficit with Japan. Trump making the comments as he welcomed the Japanese Prime Minister to the White House today for their first face-to-face meeting. Wall Street's down day overall. Lackluster jobs report no doubt had a hand in that. The Dow lost 444 points. The NASDAQ shed 268, and the S&P was down 57. NBA tonight, it's the Nets home to Miami. NHL, Rangers at the Garden take on Pittsburgh. The Isles are in Winnipeg. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure to pre-configured Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights to run more accurate forecast models. So it's almost like they're controlling the weather themselves. Lenovo and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
At University of Maryland Global,
a minute.
give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
All right, it's an airing of grievance Friday, so if you got one, give it up. And don't forget, we got What Have We Learned? I'll explain that to you coming up. But you know what? I got a new caller here, and I when I see them, I'm so excited to pick them up. We've got Willow in Enfield. Hello, Willow. I love that name.
Well, thank you. I was questioning the 14th Amendment. Is there somebody in your world that has a good knowledge of constitutional law? Because I was under the interpretation recently that it doesn't cover aliens as far as birthright of becoming a U.S. citizen in the U.S.
Well, and your question is valid. And of course, what Willow is asking about is the birthright citizens argument. And the key word is jurisdiction of in that. Okay, so let's read the section. Okay, section 1, it says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. So when someone is in jurisdiction of a state, right, in essence, it's saying that that individual is in jurisdiction, meaning you pay taxes there, whether or not you have a driver's license there, you are a fabric of said jurisdiction. In essence, you can be, I don't want to use the term ward of the state. It's not that. It's far more complicated than that. But in essence, you are in the jurisdiction of Connecticut, right? And let's say in Enfield, right? You are a member of that community. Anyone who is born to you is an immediate jurisdiction of said state. Now, someone who comes into the country illegally, that the there is no jurisdiction of said individual. They live in the shadows. They don't pay taxes. They don't have a social security number. They don't clearly contribute to the makeup of said community because they live in darkness. So they're in jurisdiction of nothing. In fact, the police tell them, they're told by their, Elliker will tell the police, do not ask anyone about their immigration status, which again would be the jurisdiction of. So if somebody came into the country and came into New Haven, it would be, the person would be in jurisdiction of New Haven if their immigration status was logged in New Haven's registry, right? So, right, their jurisdiction is their home country, as Michael B. says. And that's it. They're in jurisdiction of their home. So, Willow, stay on the line. We'll get back to that in a second. And then I got Joe in Simsbury because I know he's got something related to what White Mike was calling about earlier. So we got to take a break to get our traffic coming up. So stand by, Willow. I promise we will get to you and plenty of your phone calls. And we've got to get into this video and audio of what happened at the Board of Education. And I'm going to break this down at the Board of Education in a way that you will not believe. There's so much stuff going on there that you need to recognize and notice. And you'll say to yourself, oh, yeah, you'll see it. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you are heading into downtown Hartford right now, 84 westbound in the HOV lane between exit 59 and 58, looks like we've got a problem there involving a tractor trailer, a problem that with the brakes of the tractor trailer are locked up. So that's why you're seeing a little bit of a slowdown there as they work with that. Once you get around that, you're going to see some slow traffic as you approach the Bulky Bridge in East Hartford out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, a little slow again by exit 28. Northbound side of 91, a little slow in Cromwell between exit 21 and 22. And again, you'll lose some speed between exit 35 and 36 in Windsor. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slows Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading into Waterbury, 84 westbound delays 23 up to the Mixmaster. Now we have a crash northbound 91, and that is in Wallingford, and that's between exit 13 and 14. The right lanes out there, tractor trailer and 2 vehicles delays are back to exit 12 behind that in North Haven. Now, if you are traveling 91 northbound, we have a crash now in Cromwell between exit 22 and 23. Left lane blocked there, so you got the delays back to exit 21 behind that. And if you are heading right now into New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 62 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, you're slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Quiet and cold tonight with some breaks in the clouds. The low down to 20, then increasing clouds as we make our way through today's Saturday. If you've got some prep work for the big game, do it Saturday during the day because after that, it's going to get rough. The high 34, winter storm watch in effect 7 p.m. Saturday until 4 p.m. Sunday. I would expect to see them changing that over to a winter storm warning here as we head toward the 7 o'clock hour, 24 hours in advance of when they expect it to go in. So I will watch for that to make that into a warning as we go through a little bit later on tonight. 6 to 10 inches of snow Saturday night, rapidly deteriorating road conditions. The low down to 27, coating to an inch of snow early Sunday morning, then turning breezy with increasing amounts of sun. So a storm total of 6 to 10 inches. Dangerous travel in the morning, some improvement in the afternoon, but with the north-northwest wind picking up, it's going to blow that snow around and still make it very difficult. A high of 37 on Sunday.
Jason Catarina is getting sick too.
London, 30 in Mansfield, 34 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement this year? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your Yikes. When
Okay.
it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading is a life-changing, free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Okay, let me make something clear, by the way, because I know they're listening. West Hartford Republicans, just a bit of accuracy. I did not say that the event being held at the elementary school with Chris Murphy and Dick Blumenthal was canceled. I said that there is word that it may be canceled. I don't know why, but I'm under the assumption, well, at least now people are saying that it may be due to weather. Now, according to the weather report, and we'll get him back from Jason Catarina, who, by the way, sounds like he's under the weather. I hope you're doing well, Jason. It says 33 is the high, 26 is the low. It's saying somewhere in and around 28 degrees tomorrow. So I don't think it'll be that cold. It doesn't look like any snow's happening until Sunday, and it only looks like a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be canceled due to weather. I mean, it's Connecticut weather, so I don't expect that. But I heard it may be canceled, or there may be a cancellation because someone else was mentioning that. And all I did was say, if there's anyone who knows, please let me know. So I'm not saying that it may be canceled. I heard that it may have been canceled. But if not, we'll find out because it's supposed to be airing on YouTube. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get back to Willow real quick. So, Willow, you understand the whole argument that the Supreme Court's going to have to determine with the word jurisdiction. And that is, right. Can the person who is an illegal come into the country and claim that the state or the place in which they live has jurisdiction, or they are in their jurisdiction? And if you are an illegal, you have no driver's license, or even if you do have a driver's license, if you're living in the shadows, you are not in the jurisdiction of that state. You living in Connecticut, you're in jurisdiction of the state or the city. You have some stake in that place that you live. If someone comes in as an immigrant in a green card, or is trying to work on getting a visa of any kind or a permanent stay, they are, for lack of a better word, registered in the jurisdiction they're trying to move to, or they currently stay in. You get my meaning?
Okay.
So that's the point I'm trying to make here as far as jurisdiction. And that will be and I think it's a fair argument, it will be the, let's just say, the interpretation of the court on what that means.
Okie dokie. I just am looking for many different explanations of it so that I can maybe understand it better and see what's going on.
Understood. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now let's get to Simsbury Joe. How we doing, big guy?
I'm doing well. Some friends said, "Oh, Reese mentioned your name." And I was like, "Oh, what did he say?" Because I was on a call.
Well, we were talking about the New Hampshire shooting of the Border Patrol agent, and how White Mike, who obviously he didn't hear us talking about it. He's in Florida, so he's in and out at times. He did not know that you and I discussed the shooting in New Hampshire of the Border Patrol agent, and how the well got a little deep with Andy No, finding out that there was this small little, I don't know, faction of individuals. What was the name of the group, by the way? I called them Zima, but I was saying that tongue in cheek. What's the name of the group?
Zizians.
Zizians.
Zizians. A transgender death cult.
Yes. And that's what we were talking about, and how now I think White Mike was suggesting that there are some rumblings online that implicated the female pilot in some way. Now, the only, I want to say, connecting of the dots are the fact that this pilot, this female pilot in the Army, was a staffer at the Biden White House. And her social media had been immediately scrubbed. The Gateway Pundit published that story a day after it was revealed that her parents did not want her name out there. Then when her name was revealed, the next story was that her social media had been scrubbed. Now, again, you don't scrub social media for any reason other than the fact something's about to look bad in that social media. Because if she had died, like anybody else for that matter, it would be like scrubbing Jimmy Carter's social media presence. You get my meaning? It's like this person should be a hero. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you don't scrub Jimmy Carter's. Wasn't because he died tragically. You know, if somebody else had died tragically, you wouldn't scrub their social media at all. It almost lends itself that there's a cover-up.
Well, my understanding was that she was a lesbian who was in a committed relationship with someone. Mm-hmm. And for me, that doesn't mean that she's going to run a Black Hawk into an airliner.
Indeed.
And if she worked for Biden, it doesn't mean that she's going to run a Black Hawk into an airliner.
Agreed.
So it makes me question as well, why are you scrubbing all of her social media? And all I can come up with is that she may have been interacting with people who are far more extreme than what she was personally.
Exactly.
And one of the things, I don't know if this has been discussed, I would assume it might have been. It's not the purpose of my call, but I'm very concerned. We're getting word about, the air traffic control systems weren't synced right and this and that and 125 and 150 feet and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
The fact is that she'd been working in the Biden White House. She had not been logging a lot of flight hours as of recently.
Was it 500?
She was going 120. Yeah, she was going 120 miles an hour along the Potomac in a highly populated area on a continuity of government training mission.
Yes.
And basically what a continuity of government training mission is they're training to remove important people out of Washington, D.C. So was that really necessary? I'd really like someone to look into that and, why do we need to do that, at a time of night where there's passenger jets that are landing? And
are you under the impression that are you under the impression that they've moved on?
I am under that impression. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. That's the reason why I asked. Yep. Never ask a question you don't already know the answer to.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention something about USAID. We're finding out right now massive Democrat kickbacks from money that's not only flowing in the United States, but internationally.
Mm-hmm.
These are a group of people that, and I'll net it out here, they have thrown the United States of America and its citizens and the citizens of Earth, as it relates to the COVID stuff, under the proverbial bus. They have taken so much money, wasted so much money, and we hear all the time about our debt. Are we going to collapse as a society? If these people had no problem taking this money, the reality is, though, that at some point we're going to find out about Republicans getting kicked back.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm waiting. I know that's coming. I know that's coming faster than anything because, in fact, I've got a story about it that we're going to be talking about on Monday. And I have some really, really inside track stuff that many Republicans and many you will know and many you've been suspicious of have had a role in a lot of this money that is being laundered throughout the government.
Well, right now in the last 24 hours, we have proven, so all these people that mocked those of us that said, oh, there's chemtrails and the whole thing about contrails versus chemtrails. Well, they have proven USAID was funding chemtrails here in the United States of America. So they gave money to people to be spreading stuff in the sky. Now we also have the whole argument going on about, oh, Doge can't get into the treasury systems. How dare they look in the treasury systems? Yet in December, China was in those treasury systems, and you didn't see the Democrats who were still in charge at that time going berserk. So it goes back to my reasoning of the Democrats have taken money to destroy this country and enrich themselves, and the Republicans have also taken money And I think it's much more to enrich themselves.
I will go this far.
And, to me, there's a difference.
I will go this far, and I'll let you go. The Democrats know, because there is history here, what Elon did to Twitter and the Twitter files is exactly what's going to happen in the government files. And that's already begun. The reason why we saw Congress down at the Board of Education before Doge got there was simply for, and that's what the reason why they went down there. People say because they were there to save the Department of Education. No. They are going down there to preemptively strike because they know that Doge is going to the Board of Education next. And they're going to do that with every facet of government. They're going to go down there and they're going to protest because they know what Elon did to Twitter, which, again, what did they find out? That the government was hand in hand with Twitter. They know for a fact that they're going to find that there are congressmen and senators that are hand in hand with every one of these things, and the money laundering will never end. Look, we're looking at millions, if not billions of dollars so far in one agency. One agency. Imagine what we're about to find out at Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare.
Something real quick here, Reese. I'm not sure if you remember this when I say it, and then I'll get off the call. When you're talking about Act Blue, do you recall when Black Lives Matter started looking for money after Minneapolis?
Yes.
That it took people not to a payment page for Black Lives Matter.
That's correct.
But for Act Blue.
That's correct. Act Blue, and again,
that's why I call them filthy Democrats.
Yeah.
Filthy.
They do a lot of dirty deeds, my friend. Dastardly deeds, I might add. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. By the way, in the next hour, I'm going to play this stuff from the Board of Education, so make sure you tune into that. That's going to come up real soon. Let's go. You know what? I'm going to take Mark from West Hartford real quick because I know. Mark? Do you have any updates on this event that's happening in West Hartford with Blumenthal and Murphy?
No, the only update I have, and I found it funny, is it was actually the West Hartford RTC that started the rumor about it might be canceled. And then I know I sent it to you and you mentioned it. And then they're going, oh, we heard it on Reese too. And I was going, yeah, you're the one that did it. Here's the most disturbing part that I found out. I'm going on my 8th hour.
Okay.
Literally prompting with emails and on social media on X. And you could follow me on Mark from West Hartford or Mark from 34375. Here's the most disturbing part. As bad as it is that we got Blumenthal and Murphy going in there and Trump hating.
Right.
I can't get one Connecticut Republican elected official to respond. They will not, even the RTC in West Hartford just said that we are not organizing anything, but some members will be going. It's like, how do you not organize anything? No, nothing from Rob Sampson, who, by the way, the other day thought he was going to be friends now on WTIC. I prompted him this morning to call Tom. I know somebody was listening that could get a hold of him.
Well, I can get Rob. I can get Rob on the phone. In fact, I can get him on now.
Let me ask you this. Try to get him on and ask him why Connecticut Republicans aren't holding a pro-Trump rally outside that event. All day long. Not one, not the GOP, not Ben Proto, not Greg Fishbein, not Rob Sampson.
But here's, can I tell you why?
It's happening in West Hartford.
Let me tell you why it's not happening.
The RTC won't even organize.
Do you want to know why they're not doing anything? Because one, you said that there's some Republicans who are going to be attending. Is that correct? That some Republicans will be in attendance?
Inside?
Yeah. Well, they won't be inside.
We haven't found one person that made their way in there. So I don't have like a mole that I know said they're going to make their way in. As far as I know, nobody's going to go in there and ask one legitimate question. Hence, that's why it's going to be on YouTube.
That's
so rigged.
I want to know.
It's highly produced, Reese.
Oh, I know
I
it is.
I literally think this is highly produced. But what I'm saying is, where are Connecticut Republicans? This is your opportunity.
I don't
know. You know you're weak. Like, why won't they change their position? Trump is in. Ride his coattails. He's only been in there 2 weeks. You've got almost 4 solid years to ride the wave.
Hear me out.
Trump.
They're
afraid.
Hear me out. This is, and I get you. I know, Mark, you're the hardest on Republicans again because they, in a lot of ways, you believe they've been feckless. In a lot of ways, they're not sort of pushing back. And you and I are in agreement there that there needs to be more of people getting their back up and supporting Trump and pushing back on things like this that Blumenthal and Murphy are doing. But I need to understand this in this event, and maybe somebody can explain it to me if you are going or you understand something about it, because again, I noticed that no one seems to know about it, is if it's going to be held on YouTube, what is the purpose of the meeting? Is this a powwow for Blumenthal and Murphy to tell constituents what they're doing, or is it just a fundraising event? And again, if I find out it's a fundraising event, that begs more questions than anything.
Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
Reese, what a misuse of the word citizens. Those are nothing but sheep in there. Citizens?
We don't know. We don't know. Remember, they RSVP'd. They RSVP'd. We don't know. I don't want to jump ahead. We got a lot of work to do tomorrow at 12:30.
No, I'll jump ahead. I got a crystal ball. I know what it's always showing me. You're going to have a lot of sound bites for Monday.
Oh, listen, like I said, I'm going to.
Crystal ball said.
If YouTube is the only place I want to get in there, that's exactly where I'm going to go. Thank you,
Oh,
Mark.
you're going to have a lot.
I know. Thank you, buddy. Like I said, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'm gonna record the whole thing while it'll be there, and we'll get the sound bites from it. We'll find out what the whole deal is, and we'll find out who's there too. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of Hispanic caucuses in there. Oh yeah. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're west Penn 84, look out for a disabled tractor trailer in the HOV lane between 59 and 58, right where the 384 on-ramp comes on to 84 westbound. The truck, apparently its brakes locked up, so it's sitting there. State police are behind that. Use caution. Westbound 84, 10 up again in East Hartford, approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, sluggish. 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. Slow traffic again, 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange. Southbound 91 slows 33 down to 32 A and B. If you are traveling northbound 91, look for some slow traffic now from 20 up to exit 21 in Cromwell. We had an accident on the right shoulder up by exit 22. Also a crash now northbound on 91 in Wallingford between exit 13 and 14. Tractor trailer and two vehicles, right lane block. Delays are back prior to exit 12 behind that. Also look for slow traffic now from the Parkway southbound from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays from 6 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound slowing in New Haven, 46 to 43 in West Haven. Westbound 84 in Waterbury slowing 26 to 25, again 22 into the mixed Vaster. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be windy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 38 going to feel a lot colder with a strong cold west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour. We'll get some breaks into clouds tonight, the low down to 20. Then Saturday, increasing clouds again, the high 35. Saturday night, deteriorating travel conditions with 6 to 10 inches of snow, the low down to 26 on Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock, 33 degrees. Sun beginning to set in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The brother of the late New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez is free after being sentenced to time served for issuing threats. Bristol native Dennis D.J. Hernandez, former UConn football player, was in Hartford federal court today, as we hear from WTIC's Dave Mager.
Prosecutors say D.J. Hernandez was on a downward spiral with a mental health disorder when he threatened to shoot up UConn in 2023. He wrote to a Facebook friend, quote, "Not all shootings are bad, I'm realizing. Some are necessary for change to happen." His vehicle was seen on campus in July of 2023. Later that month, again on Facebook, Hernandez threatened 3 people out of state, including a judge. He pleaded guilty in December to making interstate threats. He's now been released because his federal sentence is time served, 18 months, plus 3 years of supervised release. He's been ordered to stay away from UConn and Rentschler Field. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Man accused in the fatal shooting of a Connecticut State Police trooper over 3 decades ago has had his attempt at parole denied. Dwayne Johnson learned his fate at a parole hearing today. It was February of 1991 that Trooper Russell Bagshaw was gunned down as he investigated a burglary at a sporting goods store in Wyndham. Johnson's brother Terry was the triggerman and is doing life. Bagshaw's widow Carol opposed parole and showed photos of her fallen husband at the virtual hearing.
This is Ross. This is Ross. This is my Ross right here.
Audio from WFSB. Dwayne Johnson became eligible for parole following the passage of a law in 2023 allowing him that since he was 18 at the time and had served 50% of his sentence. He says he has changed his life behind bars and become a better person. Police in New Britain charging a man in connection with a fatal hit and run last December. They say 18-year-old Charlie Rodriguez turned himself in for the incident December 9th at Broad and Booth Streets. One person died, another was injured when the driver left the scene of the crash. Police issued a warrant for Rodriguez's arrest. He's facing charges of evading responsibility, resulting death, and other offenses. Bond set at $200,000. President Trump has announced that Nippon Steel will be dropping its $14.1 billion bid to acquire U.S. Steel and invest heavily in the company instead. Washington correspondent Major Garrett explains why the money is needed.
This whole transaction is based on Nippon Steel investing substantial sums into U.S. Steel because its aging blast furnaces located in 2 states, Pennsylvania and Indiana, are costly and union supervised. If there is not that infusion of cash, those might have to close, costing U.S. Steel workers their jobs.
Trump didn't give any details of the investment proposal or what it would include. Administration being sued for trying to cut USAID. Public Citizen filed a lawsuit on behalf of unions representing the American Foreign Service Association and American Federation of Government Employees. Robert Weissman is the co-president of Public Citizen and says the Trump administration is not trying to make USAID more efficient, but rather shut it down.
It's not a good faith effort to try to deal with making it more efficient. Making it more efficient, of course, is a desirable outcome. Dealing with contractors and maybe skimming money, absolutely, it's something that we, Public Citizen, have and will continue to support. But shutting down the work of the leading humanitarian agency is unconscionable.
Football fans and non-fans gearing up for Sunday's Super Bowl 59. The game pits 2 familiar foes, Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. KC's going for its 3rd straight NFL title, a streak begun when it beat Philly 2 years ago. The football aside, many treat the day as a sort of de facto holiday. Quinnipiac University journalism professor emeritus Rich Hanley says while attention is given to the food, parties, and halftime show, he expects a good game.
2 teams that have considerable strengths and minimal weaknesses on both sides of the ball. So I think it'll be a fiercely fought game.
Hanley teaches a course on the history of professional football, says it's fair to say the sport has overtaken baseball as the nation's national pastime. Wall Street, the Dow lost 444 points today, the NASDAQ down 268, and the S&P down 57 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-964-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
That's right. It's an airing of grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I'm always so sad on this day, but people like Roland doesn't care. He is happy to get it. And plus, I know he's excited for the Super Bowl. You got some money on this, homie? You got some money going on? What's What's the haps?
On what? On the game?
Yeah, on the game.
Of course.
Oh, don't say it all casually. Like, of course. Talking big money, little money, play money, Monopoly money.
I did about 30 parlays.
You might as well be speaking Chinese. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
People that know what it means, they know what
Okay,
that means.
all right, about 30 parlays. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's one bet.
So you're not betting
So
on the
that's one
team like any other normal human being would. You're not betting on.
Normal people don't bet on the teams anymore, man. What's wrong with you?
Apparently a lot.
You in the you in the
The dark
medieval
ages,
times.
right? The medieval times of betting. I'm obviously not sophisticated enough to be a part of the new betting world. I'm just betting on something as simple as which team will win.
No, there's no money in that.
Yeah, of course
unless
there is.
unless you're betting like $1 million, so you can make $2 million.
Like the rappers do.
Yeah.
I think I'm only watching it because, again, it has more to do with the end of the game than it has to do with the game. I'm not going to watch the first half, and I don't think I'm going to pay attention to any of the commercials because nowadays they put the commercials ahead of the game, right? You can watch them online. Like, what's the point? So of watching it the day of, and the next day I can always sit back and watch whatever the commercials were. So I don't have any real interest in all of that.
Yeah, it's about who's going to get the 60 yards, what receiver's going to get 80 yards, who's going to score the touchdowns, who's going to make this first down, who's going to be the first touchdown score of the game, what's the actual score going to be for each quarter, all of that stuff. That's what we're.
Do you know for 8 years in a row, I used to get the score exactly right. Each year, I never put it on the team, but I always got the score. And the only game I actually got it wrong was the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, and I had the score correct until Santonio Holmes. Santonio Holmes took that last quarterback. It blew up my whole thing. I haven't been right since. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. I know you're watching the game today. Or Sunday,
yeah.
I should say.
Oh, definitely. 6:30. Don't bother.
Do you
me.
have anybody in particular? Like, I know you're not betting, but do you have a horse in this race?
No.
Oh, no, really? You're just going to watch it for the spectacle?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'd like to see Philadelphia win.
Okay.
I'd like to see Philadelphia win because I'm a Patriots fan, so I want to keep that Kansas City dynasty down a little bit.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's the reason why I'm rooting for Philadelphia.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great reason to eat a large amount of food. So yeah, I'm going to be watching the game, no question.
All right.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, you got delays about from just after 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Berkeley, east of the river, slowing 58 up to 59 into 384 interchange. Westbound 84 is a little tight. As you move over the 384 on-ramp, we've got a disabled tractor trailer in the HOV lane there. After that, delays again approaching the Berkeley Bridge of 47 Sigourney. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you are traveling on the northbound side of I-91, got a little slow traffic as you move up on 25, 26 in Wethersfield. 291, 384 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbounds looking very good, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Northbound 91 in Wallingford between exit 13 and 14. The right lane is out there with a crash. Tractor trailer, 2 vehicles, right lane blocked there. Delays are approaching exit 12. Behind that, southbound Parkway, you've got delays from just about 63 down to 60 in Hamden. South 91 slows from 4 in toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound delays from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Some breaks in the clouds tonight, the low down to 20, then increasing clouds during the day on Saturday. Need to do any preparation before the big game? Do it Saturday during the day. After that, all bets are off. Deteriorating travel conditions at night. A high 34 during the day. So far, still a winter storm watch in effect from 7 p.m. Saturday till 4 p.m. Sunday. Expecting that to change to a warning here over the next couple of hours. 6 to 10 inches of snow with rapidly deteriorating road conditions Saturday night. The low down to 27. A coating to an inch of snow early Sunday morning, then breezy with increasing amounts of sun. A storm total of 6 to 10 inches. Dangerous travel in the morning. Some improvement in the afternoon, but with the north-northwest winds picking up and blowing the snow around, still going to be tough. The high of 37 on Sunday. Right now, it's 34 in Meriden, 34 in Danbury, also Bridgeport. It's 32 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you
45 seconds.
Time to get gas. That's right.
Matter of fact, 1 minute.
Back with Upside.
Okay.
Just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Airing of Grievance Friday. Haven't heard any real grievances today, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure I can come up with a few. My particular grievance is with the Department, or at least the Congress and Department of Education. I'll get to your phone calls in a quick second, but let me play a little bit of this. You may have seen that this video that has been circulating, but I want to break a couple of them down for you real quick. Congress shows up at the Department of Education, and they immediately start threatening this security guard, federal worker right in front of the building. And it sounded a little like this.
We're trying to save your job. You won't have a job if we don't help you. You won't have any place to send your kids.
Now, that was Maxine Waters. That was only later on in her exchange with that security guard. You know, we're just here trying to save your job. But this is how it began.
This is an outrage. This is an outrage. With someone who works here.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna beat us up if we go in?
I mean, you're gonna,
we want you to move out of the way. Steamrolling you. Get out of the way.
This is all access. Stand aside, sir. This is all access.
Now you hear Maxine Waters, right? Get out of the way. Get out of the way. That's what she was saying to him. She said it a couple of times. Get out of the way.
We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you? You're not coming in. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you, sir?
Do you have business here?
Yes. I've sent the secretary, I've sent the assistant secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know that that's been accepted, so until that's...
Who are you? Who are you? And what do you do here?
What do you do here? Security responsibility.
Get out of the way. We pay for your job. We pay you.
We're members of
We pay you.
We are here. Nobody has accepted a meeting.
We haven't heard that from the secretary. We haven't heard that from the spokesman.
Now, again, this is Maxine Waters and all of them treating him like, you know, who are you? Who are you? Show us your ID. At one point, he shows his ID that he's a federal worker. And it's like, That doesn't mean anything. I'm like, well, wait a minute, you wanted them to show the ID, then it means nothing. So when that wasn't working, they went from berating the guy to trying to bargain with him.
We're trying to save your job. You won't have a job if we don't help you. You won't have any place to send your kids.
We're here speaking for a ton of kids from coast to coast that deserve a quality public education. And this department should stay open, and we want to share that message.
Now you notice that he went from, get out of the way. We're trying to get in. We're members of Congress. We're the appropriations. We demand entry. And then when he wouldn't move, he was like, we're just trying to save your job and make sure that your kids can go to. We're just concerned Congress people who are trying to get in and to reasonably talk to these people. Can you please let us in? All of a sudden it changed around. Now, if I'm sitting up there and I just heard this old crusty black woman sit up there and tell me to get up out the way, who are you, dismissing your job and your role, and then talking all this stuff about, oh, we're just trying to help you, brother. We're just looking out for you, sir. That's our job. Just let us in. We're not your enemy. We're trying to make your life better. But then, and this is, again, I'm so proud of this gentleman, and I'm sure he'll be on one of these shows, Jesse Waters or one of them. Somebody will be getting him on. I hope he really doesn't do it, but I know he will. Maxine Waters, after finally they've realized they're not going to get into these doors, Maxine Waters pulls what can only be described as a rape whistle.
Not Russia. Let the camera see him. Let the camera see him. This man here.
We are members of Congress.
Come in.
You're blocking us.
See this man here, who is a federal employee. He told us.
He's not.
Are you a federal employee? Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here, all access entrance.
But it couldn't get worse than that. Here's where Maxine Waters goes all the way crazy.
Everybody stand back and let the camera see. They're calling all of these gun-loading people out on us. They're calling them out on us. Look behind this door. Who do you see back there?
The doors will open.
Do they have guns on them? Do they have guns? Are they prepared to shoot us?
Isn't this the same woman that was celebrating the Capitol Police? Was saying that the Capitol Police were the good guys? And now she is all but saying they're standing there with guns. Are they planning on shooting us? Can you believe this woman? With the cameras rolling, she is pointing to do you see those people with the guns? Do they plan on shooting us? Not if you go home. What are they supposed to do if you have been told, don't go into the building? I was hoping they would pull an insurrection. I was hoping that the Democrats would do it. I know someone was in there just going, hey, guys, this is looking very January 6-y. Perhaps we should back up just a little bit. Just a little bit. They thought this would work. And what was it that Donald Trump announced just a little while ago? Does anybody know? That he has instructed Elon Musk to go to the Department of Education. Why would they preemptively go down there? Why did they go down there? Because they know where the corruption is. The Democrats know. They know what happened at USAID. They're going now to the Board of Education. They'll be somewhere else tomorrow. They know what's coming up. They know that the corruption's going to be found. They know that money's going to be exchanged in ways that people are going to go, whoa. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really damaging. Screaming and hollering, hailing a cop. Let's go to the phones, 860-522-WTIC. What's going on, Kim?
Okay, yeah, I saw that clip today, and this is what happens when people are in power for so long and they never vote her out, and it clearly is Orwellian, where the theme is that some people are more equal than others, and I wish Americans would wake up to that. As far as Mr. Murphy goes, I cannot get a hold of him all week.
Really?
There seems to be nobody in either office there, or they're being barraged or something. I think what his plan was, there was a clip that played across my Facebook page.
Yes.
This is a fundraising thing.
The event that's happening in West.
What Democrats do best is they use issues to fundraise off of, because I think Murphy probably has in mind that he would like to run for president someday. And he's going to try and expose issues which he thinks are contrary to American tradition. What he doesn't seem to realize.
Do you think he's got eyes on? Wait, Kim. Do you think he's got eyes on 28?
Yes.
You know what? You know what? I'll admit they don't have a deep bench, and it is up for grabs now that Gavin Newsom is out the door.
Well, that's why they want to do it in West Hartford, because it's it's an educated town. It's a very liberal town with a lot of rich people. One of the problems that I find with Murphy as a senator is when you mail him something, you get back a generic reply from him.
Like a mailer?
Yeah. And it doesn't go to an issue. It's this: I could never do this job without you people. But you never get something that really addresses
the issue.
What you're saying. And this is the fault in all our politics is, when they train people, in customer service and social work and all that stuff, you have to learn how to answer the question. Don't tell me about you.
Yeah.
Okay? Address my thing that I'm trying to tell you what I want you to do. And I've given you, my philosophy, some options, whatever, there. But don't tell me that I know how it's best solved, because I'm a person of title. And this is, it's the whole training of our people in politics.
Yeah.
Like this, is that they really don't answer, very few, maybe only 1%, really do their job and speak to the issue at hand. Usually what they're doing is talking points that promote them. We spent money. I did something good. And, when you go through a teacher's curriculum, one of the cardinal principles you learn is, whatever your lesson plan is, it's got to be student-centered. It cannot be about you.
About money, exactly. It's and again, that's one of my biggest problems with all of the fundraising and all of the screaming and hollering about a teachers union. It's always about money, and we need people to do the jobs of teaching the children.
Right. Just throw money at it, and it solves the problem. It never has.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, our citizenry is really not educated in common sense, particularly the left. They'll follow their stations and the news, so they get their information off the news, and it doesn't make sense.
Do you think, let me ask you this, Kim, before I let you go, this is an important thing. I almost feel like the citizenry that does care about this particular subject or others seems to be not just conservative, but of an older group. Like, they don't really have the time. The one thing that I've always noticed between conservatives and liberals, whether they be far left or far right in that argument, what I've always noticed is that it's always the people on the left who seem to have more time on their hands to be out in the street rallying, where conservatives have jobs to do.
The problem is people rely too much, thinking their lawmaker would do something. And no, on certain issues, you can let them be aside, but others, you really have to stay on them, because when it's a crucial issue, they will keep a survey in their office to see how it's going, especially if they're in a not so safe.
Most important thing that they
don't participate in the process enough.
Exactly.
And absolutely, is the Democratic Party, today's Democrats, are so far left, they are trying to destroy the country. There's no question in my mind.
I couldn't agree with you more. I know that that's their plan. Because I don't know, they think that's beneficial to them. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. I'm going to get to, do I have time for it? I feel like I don't. Let me try with a minute and a half. Stanley is in New Britain. How you doing, Stanley? Stanley? Okay, well, don't have time for that. You got to take a break in a minute. Anyway, listen, this whole thing, and exactly to Kim's point, if I'll read this again, this note from Chris Murphy, this email that was sent out there. Hey, it's Chris Murphy again. I know you've probably heard and seen a lot of me, but it's because I know this is a crisis moment. I fundamentally believe we have weeks, if not days, to end the constitutional crisis and save democracy. Hopefully, you found my updates helpful or my leadership as a small source of hope that we can beat this, that we can stop what Trump and Musk are doing, which again is so out of touch because, Chris, if I remember the 4th of July, you walk around the state asking people what you can do for them, to which I say, mind your business, but you're not working for the people of Connecticut. You're fundraising for you on agendas that appeal to you. Hey, guys, I'm out here working. I know I work for you, but I'm out here working going against Trump. You got some problems? Send a letter or call my office. I'm sure it'll get back to me. And it never does. It never does. Because I'll tell you, I know he has no intention of addressing any of it. Any of it. We'll be back. We got more news, more views. What have we learned today? Let us know in the chat room. Just put them out there. What have you learned today from this topic or what's going on in the news? Just go to reesounradio.com so you can let us know. For now, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. How are we doing, sir?
Hey, Reese, thank you. If you're heading 91 southbound into Hartford, delays 33 down to 32A and B. Northbound side of 91's a little tight, getting by exit 22 in Cromwell. After that, some sluggish traffic, 24 up to 25, 26 in Wethersfield. Then it's a good ride, Hartford up into Windsor. Eastbound 84 slows about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. Slowing again 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange. Westbound 84, look out for a disabled tractor trailer in the HOV lane, right where 384 comes on to 84 West on the East Hartford-Manchester line. Again, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney Street. If you are traveling 291, 384, that's okay. 2 westbound slowing in East Hartford, exit 4 to the 84 West merge. Middletown's okay 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. If you are heading on the northbound side of Route 9, some slow traffic 32 to 34 as you move Berlin into New Britain. Westbound 84, sluggish 26 in Cheshire to 23 in Waterbury, a little tight again as you approach the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway, you're sluggish, moving between 57 and 58. Southbound 91, New Haven, slowing from exit 4 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound New Haven tied up 46 to 43 in West Haven. And we're still dealing with a crash 91 northbound. And this is up in Wallingford between exit 13 and 14. The right lane's blocked there, so stay left. Delays are back to exit 12 in North Haven behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, breaks in the clouds, cold, the low down to 20, increasing clouds again on Saturday, the high 34. On Saturday night, 6 to 10 inches of snow with rapidly deteriorating road conditions, the low down to 27. Sunday, a coating to an inch early in the morning, then turning breezy with increasing amounts of sun. The storm total of 6 to 10 inches. Dangerous travel in the morning, some improvement in the afternoon, the high of 37 Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. An arrest in a fatal hit and run in New Britain from last year. Under arrest is 18-year-old Charlie Rodriguez. He, police say, struck 2 people on December 9th on Broad Street. Faces charges of evading responsibility resulting in death and other offenses. Man who, along with his brother, was convicted in the fatal shooting of a Connecticut State Police trooper over 3 decades ago, has had his attempt to gain parole rejected. Dwayne Johnson went before the State Board of Paroles and Pardons today. Group declined to grant Johnson parole. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison for the ambush shooting of Trooper Russell Bagshaw in 1991 as he and his brother burglarized a sporting goods store in Wyndham. Middle school employee in Norwalk faces charges. He pushed a student last year Police received the complaint on December 5th. They say some kind of incident involving the employee of Nathan Hale Middle School, Michael Morris. Police didn't elaborate. They say Morris turned himself in today to face charges of risk of injury and disorderly conduct. State Attorney General William Tong and over a dozen attorneys general in Boston today. They were there to request a judge block President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship for those whose parents were here illegally at the time of their birth. On Wall Street, down day for the markets after a less than stellar jobs report. The Dow lost 444 points. NASDAQ shed 268, and the S&P was down 57 points. NBA tonight, it's the Nets and Miami and Brooklyn. Rangers at the Garden skate against Pittsburgh. The Isles are in Winnipeg. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson with Johnson Brunetti. Do not make mistakes when it comes to Social Security decisions. Get our free guide, Social Security Decisions. Call or text the word security to request your copy. 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word security to 1-800-705-1232 to get your free guide. 1-800-705-1232.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution.
Hello, Mary
It doesn't
Ann.
matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com. 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that the Democrats don't seem to care about anything but their own pockets. That was easy. And we also learned that there are a lot of people who still call the program who know damn well I'm not going to pick up the phone anymore. I really don't know what to say, but it is the airing of grievance Friday, and I'll see if there's any grievances out there. But if I've got any grievance, I've always save it, because it's not that I need to be aggrieved by anything. Nothing bothers me more than people who just don't get the hint. Like I talked yesterday about being able to deliver hard news or horrible news to individuals. The one thing that I never want to have to do twice is to tell someone I've got no interest in you at all. I can only be so kind for so long. And I'm a nice person. But I don't think anyone's lately, in 5.5 going on 6 years, has ever seen my dark side. And I'm not evil. I know that I'm not. I know that I'm not evil. In my heart of hearts, I'm not evil. And truly, I do believe that no one ever got my wrath who didn't deserve it. I don't believe that I've ever been mean to anybody who didn't deserve it. But I think people want me to be mean. I believe that there are people out there who want me to be mean-spirited to them. So let me say it. I be as nice as I possibly can. I'm not banning anybody from calling the show. But if you know who you are, don't call. Just don't. Just don't. It's not worth it. To me, to you, it isn't. I'm not rude to anyone. I like people who disagree with me, but then they're just jerks. And because, it's a family show, I can't say what I really want to say, but you know what I mean. But wait until after the show. I'll say what I really think. But just don't. I don't want to have to be angry with anyone. I don't want to have to be mean-spirited to anyone, because when I get to that point where I'm saying something mean, I'm at the point where I don't care what comes out of my mouth. I've said some really awful things to people that I don't like. Really awful things. And some people have gone into deep depression after I said it, because I meant it. And when I look you in the eye and I mean it, I really, really do. So kindly, it's a nice show. I'm a nice guy. Let's keep it that way. And you stay on your side, just listen and enjoy, but don't call. You know who you are. I appreciate you for listening. Okay? That's all. I really do appreciate you. Be a fan. Be a good fan. Now, a person I'm a big fan of is Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center. Any better on the voice, sir?
We're getting there, Reese.
You sounded good. You sounded like you're beating it. I think it's because it's the second time around. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not like it's only was. Are the kids still sick at home?
Zachy went back to school today.
So he's not. Okay, good. See, that's part of the reason.
Well, we had something totally different.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. See, when they're sick, you got to get them out of the house. I don't care. It's like when my kids used to be sick, they would come and it's like, Dad, I'm hungry. And I would stand over there and I would feed them with a slingshot. That was the wouldn't let them near me.
Exactly. All I know is my hands have been washed so many times. They're so chapped right now.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. Anyways, we're going to. Hopefully Monday, the voice will be totally back 100%. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're northbound 91, a little slowdown as you move up by 24 up to 25, 26 in Wethersfield. Westbound 84 is a little slow as you move up on the Bulkley Bridge out to 47. Skirting 84 eastbound, you've got delays about a mile before 46th Avenue to the Bulkley. A little tight again, 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange in Manchester. 291, 384, okay, 2 westbound slowing exit 4 to the 84 West merge. Quiet Middletown, 9 northbound, you're slowing 32 in Berlin up to 34 in New Britain. Westbound 84 losing some speed from 25A in Waterbury up to exit 25. If you're traveling into New Haven, southbound on the Parkway, you've got slow traffic now from exit 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays 4 in toward the 95 interchange. At 95 southbound, you're tight now from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, we'll get some breaks in the clouds. The low dropping down to 20. Then it's increasing clouds during the day on Saturday. Need to do any prep work before the big game. Saturday, during the day is your time. After that, all bets are off with rapidly deteriorating travel conditions at night. The high 34 during the day. Still I just checked. Still a winter storm watch in effect. 7 p.m. Saturday till 4 p.m. Sunday. Expect that to be up to a winter storm warning within 24 hours of the event. So probably at 7 o'clock, we'll see that switching over to a warning. 6 to 10 inches of snow Saturday night. Like I said, rapidly deteriorating road conditions, the low 27. Coating to an inch of snow early Sunday morning, then turning breezy with increasing amounts of sun. Storm total of 6 to 10 inches. Dangerous travel for the morning. Some improvement in the afternoon. The north-northwest winds kicking up. Going to blow that snow around. Still going to be tough for travel in the afternoon. The high of 37 on Sunday. Right now, it's 32 in Danbury. 32 in New London, New Haven at 36, and it's 32 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement this year? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. It's winter, and we need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Paid for by government. Now, 1 minute. Your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars, minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal. Regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value. 1-800-386-7195 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Bars for only $39.95. That's 1-800-386-7195.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we got a lot to get to in this break before we end the show and go away for the weekend. So let me just tell you what's in tap. We got the last but not least caller of the day who's going to win 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. We'll get to that. Also, we're going to get to your phone calls and see who has a grievance. But also, I just want to say this. So apparently, William Tong, the Attorney General, was going to be, I guess it was at an event today that started at 5 o'clock. And let me just read a quote from William Tong, because I have a brief message for him real quick. William Tong says, quote, "This is great cruelty," in talking about Doge. "It means to hurt us, stop them, kick them out, bar them from doing this. This is unconstitutional hijacking of the federal spending power. They have no right to do this. This is a constitutional crisis." I want to take a moment to address one line from this. This Doge means to hurt us. Hurt who, William? None of the money was coming here. Who are you talking about? This means to hurt us. This money wasn't coming to Connecticut. Unless it was. Is there something you'd like to reveal? William, with all due respect, knock it off with the tough talk and the begging for headlines. No one cares. You have been running in front of the camera like a schoolgirl waiting for likes on Facebook. Knock it off. If there's anyone who likes you, just hold them close. But antics like these are silly. I know that a lot of you want a national spotlight. I know you're begging for it. But please knock it off. You look silly. It looks clownish. We're laughing at you. You put up cringeworthy videos online, which shows that you're not built for this. You're not hip. You're not cool. You're silly. Stop being silly. Do the people's work. Stop looking for sound bites. Please stop looking for media clout. You have none. End of message. Now to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Dave, who's in Branford. How we doing, Dave?
Reese, how are you? Speaking of William Tong, he went judge shopping to find a judge who said Trump's banning of birthright citizenship violated the plain language of the 14th Amendment. And
Went
so
all the
I
way
want
to Boston. Didn't he go all the way to Massachusetts for that?
So I want to pursue that just for a moment, and then I'll get off quick. The Section 2 of the 14th Amendment discusses who shall be allowed to vote. The right to vote shall not be denied. Now I'm going to quote it. Or in any way abridged, except for participation in rebellion or other crime. I suggest we give William Tong way more than he can handle and say participation. It doesn't even say conviction. It says participation in other crime. All those people in prison and the felons who all the blue states want them to vote because the felon class votes for Democrats. They are not allowed to vote. The Constitution says so in plain language.
Indeed.
I suggest the Republicans start enforcing this part of Section 2 of the 14th Amendment, and I'll concede the birthright citizenship if we don't let the felon class continue to vote for Democrats.
Yeah, and you know what? Republicans need to be more of an obstructionist in that way. It doesn't matter whether or not there's a supermajority in Connecticut. People have got to make noise. And again, these people, remember, this is something interesting to think about, Dave, in all of this. We have stenographers in the news media who are clearly covering for Democrats in the state, right? They're willing to. Why aren't people exactly? Why aren't people in the Republican Party beating down the doors of the news media and getting their fair share of that media coverage? They need to be obstructionists. They need to be making the biggest noise. Forget about these silly, press conferences that they barely show up with or show up for or seem to be disinterested in. They've got to be banging down the. I can't wait till I get to Connecticut. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited.
Thanks for letting me on.
You got it, man. You got it. I'm sorry. I have to teach these people how to work. I've had enough. It just drives me up the wall. My good friend Matt's in Bristol. How you doing, sir?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
What's up?
First of all, let me apologize. I didn't know you took the bagel jokes that serious. I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Stop it. I've got two for you today. What do you got?
Okay. So I want to know what Maxine Waters meant by we pay your salary. Did she mean taxpayers, or did she mean that the Congress owns our money and the Congress is the we?
So remember, they are the purse strings, right? So they appropriate the money that goes to the Board of Education, in essence, their salaries, as it were. So in some way, we may pay our taxes that pay the salaries of those individuals in those departments. But remember, the purse strings are held by the legislative branch. So she's technically right. She's saying, in essence, that her committee or Senate or the Congress, for that matter, can turn around and say to that office, hey, fire this guy. It's like they're in control of his employment is pretty much what they were saying.
I would say the same thing to her.
Agreed. Exactly. And you're right. You're noticing the irony here is that she's talking to the security guard who's securing that building, saying that we are in charge of your salary, not recognizing that the thing that we voted for, and that is the Trump administration to go in there and to count the beans inside that building. She doesn't recognize that she works for us as well.
So you think for sure when she said we, she was talking about Congress, not about taxes.
She was talking about Congress, without a doubt. They were all there literally patting themselves on the bum, but we are Congress. We appropriate the funds here. They were there as a united front trying to get into that door until, I'm telling you, the reason why they didn't go through him or didn't move him out of the way is because January 6th is going, that kept them from moving any further. And when there's another part of that video where he says, what are you guys going to do? Move me out of the way? And they were like, we never said that there was going to be any violence. They immediately started backing up. That's why they walked away.
Well, I give that guy for standing his ground for sure, but I think someone should at least ask her, what did you mean by we? And just put her on the spot.
Yeah, I agree. And she always wiggles herself out of that as well. Thank you, boss man. Let's go. Who do I have next up? Adam. Adam's in East Hartford again. Hey, what's up, Adam?
Hey, Reese, I want to talk about the big game and the big storm. I'm hoping that the storm gets knocked down, that it only ends up being about 5 inches in the Hartford area, but we just don't know what Mother Nature, you know?
Yeah, it could be pretty bad. In fact, I was looking at that and going, this is one of those moments where you should do, if you can, do as much shopping as you can for the weekend and then hunker down for, at least you got the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's like load up and then sit in the house all weekend and enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'm in a mobile home, and I have to shovel my own little, it's not a driveway, they call it an apron, in my 2 landings, but I'll just go slow, I'll pace myself, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Just, you know what? It's one of those things where you don't have to do anything at all that isn't necessary. The snow is going to be there. It's like, unless, of course, you got to get somewhere, you have to do something. That's different. If it's like an emergency that you can't get out of. But just be safe, man, and just stay warm. It's just like whatever it is, it'll either be there when you get there, and if it isn't important enough, just let it go.
Either way, I'm picking the Eagles because the pressure's on KFC to win 3 in a row, and plus I saw how they ran up that score 2 weeks ago. But who are you picking?
To be honest with you, I like history. I don't have a horse in this race. I don't care about Jalen Hurts, and the Philadelphia Eagles will always be the worst team in the world to me, with the exception of the Oakland Raiders. But I hate the Eagles. Aside from the fact that they had one of their fans eating horse poo, they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. And that is unforgivable. It's just unforgivable.
Hey, I'm going to keep, what is it, JC? We always say at the end of the show.
Yes, always keep JC in your hearts and in your minds, my friend.
Have a nice one.
Thank you, man. You too. Let's look at this. And according to this, I've got to go Stephen Waterbury next. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing well. I got 3 things.
Yes.
For those people who threw snowballs at Santa, they had better watch out. As far as the snow goes, I believe in the motto, the good Lord give it, the good Lord take it away.
That's right.
I was going to do a grievance, but I have a bagel joke that I made up for you. It's on the political side, and I have 2 punchlines for it.
Go for it.
You ready?
Yep.
What's the difference between a beagle and a bagel?
I don't know.
Okay, well, with the political part, in my opinion, the last 9 out of, there's 9 out of 10 last presidents would prefer a bagel for breakfast in the morning. Can you guess who might be the president then? Might we go with the beagle?
That's good. I like that one. That's actually really, really good.
Yeah, it took me a while. Do you want to hear my grievance real quick?
Yes, real quick.
Okay. I know they do this with picking the cabinets and everything for the presidents, but I think they should just let them have their state area pick. Maybe not with the Supreme Court, because that's different. But I think if you had a business, you should be able to pick who you want. I think presidents, no matter if you're a Democrat or whatever, you should have your pick of cabinet and not have people fighting on it.
Yeah, indeed. Couldn't agree more. All right, let me get to him. He's coming up. We have the last but not least caller of the day is Mike in Plainfield. How are we doing, Sal? Plainville, I should say. Okay, now, Mike, hold on. Unfortunately, before you get to say what you need to say, we have 2 bagel jokes of the day, and I'm going to do them real quick, okay? Just real quick, okay? So I have you on the air. Here are the 2 bagel jokes of the day. The first one: what happens when you eat a bagel while standing on one leg?
You get creamed. I don't know.
You have a balanced breakfast.
So.
A balanced breakfast. And the second one is, why does my dog look like a bagel?
I have no idea.
Because it's purebred. That's why. Applaud me. These are brilliant.
They're getting just a little bit better, but I had a bagel joke for today, but I gotta clean it up for next week.
Not a problem. Anyway, what did you want to opine about? You got a minute. What do you got?
I'm telling you, there's not enough leather couches in the state of Connecticut for all these people who want to go see Dickie and
Murphy. Yeah, I know.
People are going to need help when they really, really find out how bad it is in Washington and in the state, the money that's been stolen from the taxpayers outright and the corruption. I'll tell you what, Donald Trump, he's mentally tough.
Listen,
he's a mentally tough guy. He is a tough guy. He's a New York City boy.
There's one thing that I'll tell you about the Chris Murphy and Blumenthal thing that's going to be interesting. First of all, it's going to be one of the most watched YouTube events in the state now because we've talked about it so much because everyone's interested to find out what it's about. They better make it good, or otherwise it's just going to be the most boring thing we've ever watched. Oh, no, you don't have to go. That's why it's going to be on YouTube. I'm going to watch it on Chris Murphy's YouTube page because I want to know. I want complete transparency. I want to know whether or not it's a fundraising event or if he's going to sit there and try to tell people how to thwart the Trump administration when it comes to immigration or worse. So that's what I'm interested in.
You might need a couple of painkillers afterwards.
You might be right about that one. All right. So there you go. We have Mike in Plainville, who is our winner of the last but not least call of the day, who will get 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds Bagels, Bakery, and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Winchester, and Vernon. I'm actually going to get on the phone with them in a bit. As I like to say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a great weekend. Happy Super game sports thing that you should enjoy. And, I don't know, go whatever team that you're voting for. And here's Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center.
Hey, Reese, have a great weekend. Thank you. 84 eastbound coming into Hartford, delays about a half mile before 40.
All right, good sir. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, man, you too. I appreciate you.
Coming back Monday, Rich.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
32.
Yes, sir.
If you're north, 31, a little slow up in Windsor between 35 and 36. 291, 384, okay, 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Michael A. You guys, we can't say it. We cannot say Super Bowl on the air because those sons of guns, if they hear us, they will sue us. And people do it anyway, but not like they're paying attention to every rinky-dink, organization. But if somebody works for like ESPN and hears it and they want to drop dime, they may do it. And they're listening in Bristol, so it's a whole clown show. Plenty of stuff this weekend this week that I didn't get into. That I need to get into next week, but I'm probably going to focus on the Sunday show. So check out the Sunday show. It is at 1:00, even though Super Bowl is later on that day. So make sure you check that out. I don't think there's anything else. We've got some changes coming to the show. We're not going to do the 5 o'clock focus, as I've already mentioned. For those of you who do not know, it's just so we can do more stories during the day because it's just filled and there's so much stuff that I don't get into because of the 5 o'clock focus. So I had to let it go. So I just want to let everybody know, love you. And thank you, as always, for a wonderful week of broadcasting, and can't wait to do it all over again. Peace be with you. Stay well.